Now let's look at how we make tools like blogs or journals, that sort of item, available on the course calendar. Again, a tool is a little bit different than a test or an assignment because you have the tool itself that you make available, and then within the tool you create different areas. So I make the blog tool available on the course menu, but then I create different blogs within that tool. I can't set an availability for the tool. I have to set individual availabilities for each blog. This is not controlled by the availability of the item in the learning module. Let's take a look at the learning module. In this case, what I have in the learning module is a link to that blog that I created. So this is an actual, if I edit this, this is a link to that blog I created. And I have no availability date set on that at all. But it still won't show up in the calendar because the availability is controlled in the tool itself. So how do we get around that? How do we let students remind students that they have those to do? Well, I go to the course calendar. And I'm going to go ahead and start with April. So I'm going to create an entry on April 3rd for my Astronomy in the News blog, that particular date, and it automatically shows up in the time frame that I select. So let me put in a name. Now, it would be essentially due 12 a.m. on the 4th. I'm just going to make this the end of the day, that it starts at the end of the day, just so that everything stays the same in my calendar. So it's just due at the end of the day on the 3rd. Now, again, I have a blog due every week. I could do this entry over and over and over again. Or I can just set it to repeat. And if that's week 9, there's 6 occurrences on Sunday, and I'll save that. So now if I go to the weekly view, you can see I have my one that I set up on the 3rd, and there's one on the 10th, and on the 17th, and so forth. But each one of those is week 9 Astronomy in the News blog. But I can just go in and by clicking on the entry, edit. So the 17th is actually week 11 blog, and the 24th is the week 12 blog. So you can see all I'm doing is clicking on that particular entry. And that's how you add a recurring entry into your calendar so that students can see those items that won't show up on the calendar until the availability starts.